Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jen and welcome. I'm so excited to see all these new subscribers. It's like not even funny, so thank you. Today I have a brush video for you guys. This sound is gonna drive me crazy, but that's okay. Okay, so in this video, I'm just gonna be going over the brushes that I use every single day. I get a lot of questions about makeup brushes all the time. People are always asking me what brushes to use, which ones they think is even worth it, do they need to purchase expensive ones and everything like that. I already have a brush video on my channel, so I'll make sure to link that in the description, but there's always room for improvement and I felt like improving that video, and so that's why I thought I'd do one today. So these are more just the ones that I use every day, whereas the other one I was kind of going into detail about like what to use for each brush and everything. But in this video, I will kind of, I'm kind of gonna do the same thing, but I'm mostly just focusing on the brushes that I use every single day. So if you're interested in that and that's something that you wanna see, then just keep watching. Okay, so I'm just gonna start with the brushes kind of in the order that I use them on the face, just because then I can stay on track. What I think is so interesting is when I first started out doing makeup, I didn't even have very many tools, if you will. A lot of the times I use my fingertips, and I mean, I just bought like cheap brushes from Save-On or CVS or wherever my parents or aunt and uncle or whoever would take me, then I was trying to get some makeup brushes. So I didn't start off with anything expensive, so I'm not here to tell you that you need the most expensive stuff to make the most beautiful makeup. That is definitely not the case, but sometimes it is fun to splurge and get yourself a nice brush. So I totally understand that too. Okay, so the first brush that I'm going to be talking about today is the Morphe G6. This is a flat top Kabuki brush, and I think it only retails for like 16 bucks or something like that, but it is very affordable and I love the size of this. I love the width of this, the size of this, how dense it is, and just what it does. This is the brush that I use to apply my foundation. This is also the brush that I use to set my concealer. So a lot of people use the Beauty Blender, but I use this brush for both of those. And I only use one brush. I get asked that a lot, like, do I switch it up? And I do not. So it's definitely not needed. So I just have one G6 that I use for my foundation, and the way I use this brush is, again, you see in almost all my makeup videos at least, I go in circular motions and then I will buff or stipple into the skin. So that's the way that the Kabuki brush is designed. It's known to make your makeup look airbrushed, and that is what I love. I definitely wanted to mention this brush, and I use this every single day. And I love it so much, and I really don't know what I would do without it. So there you go. Okay, next brush would be, so after I use this on my foundation, and then when I'm done with that, I will do the concealer. Okay, so dot, dot, dot. When I do the concealer, I'm gonna press stipple motions until I feel that it is blended seamlessly into the foundation. So foundation and concealer with this brush. And then to set those areas on the face, so now that I have the foundation on the face and then I put the concealer, I want to set the areas that I just put the concealer. And so to do that, I use a MAC 109 brush, and it looks like this. And I didn't always used to use this brush. I just got really into this brush because it fits so perfectly into my eye sockets, and I like how dense it is. So the amount of product that it picks up and everything, and the way that it applies to the face, I just love that. So I'll press this on all the areas that I did the concealer. So for instance, I'll do the T-zone, and I will again pat that into the skin. I will set underneath the eyes, and I will go down the nose, I will go around the nose, and then I will go on the chin with this brush. When I'm done with this brush, I then move on to this brush, and this is the Morphe G4. And I love this brush so much. It is an angle brush, and you don't have to use an angle brush. I just prefer it because our faces have so many different angles on them anyways that it just makes sense to me to use a brush that has an angle on it. So I will take this, and I will take my powder that I'm gonna set my entire face with at this point, and I will put this all over into the skin. This I will swipe. This is a brush that I will swipe. After I'm done swiping, then I will pat. Again, when you're swiping, you are almost, you're not erasing the makeup, but it's definitely different than blotting it or like pushing it into the skin. You're gonna get a lot more product that way. So I hope that makes sense. So I do take this and I will swipe this in all the areas that I want. And then in the areas that I want a lot of coverage, I will take this again, put it into my powder and even blot this again into that T-zone area. Because again, those are the areas that I just put a ton of concealer. Those are the areas that have the foundation and the concealer, and I want that area to be set, if that makes sense. When you're using a brush like this and you're setting your entire face with powder, that is then allowing your face to be a really nice palette or clean slate for your contours, your blush, and your highlight. Because those three things you're gonna need to blend. You're not just putting it onto the face, you're actually blending that onto the face. So by setting the face within one entire powder, you're setting yourself up for success, because now you are getting ready to be able to blend. The other day, actually, I forgot to set my entire face. Yep, even me. I totally did. And what happened was I went to go put on my blush and it was like sticky and it was like kind of hard to move. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, no. And then my contour again was like chunky and just like hard to move. And I was just like, what is this? And I love a nice clean face and I love a nice clean slate. And so when I was doing the makeup, I was so like unhappy, so dissatisfied, whatever you want to call it, because it just wasn't doing what I wanted. And when you're into makeup and you're a makeup artist like I am, you really, like, that is your, I mean, that's your MO, right? Like, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to maneuver, you're trying to move the makeup. So, so by not setting the face, I wasn't able to do that. It was a lot harder, is what I'm saying. So again, this is the powder brush that I use and I love it so much. Again, super affordable because it's by Morphe. And again, I will put this in the description box if you guys want to check it out for yourself. If you do purchase any of these brushes today or tomorrow or the next day, please leave me a comment below and letting me know which brush that you purchased and why, and what made you even interested in that brush in the first place, because I get so into it, it's like not even funny. So okay, next brush that I would say that I use is my contour brush. So this is a MAC brush. This is one of my first MAC brushes that I ever got, and all of my MAC brushes I have such a little special place in my heart for, because they cost so much money, and when you're little and first starting out, a $42 brush is the emoji with like the brain. Yeah, super insane. It's a lot of money. So yeah, so this brush means a lot to me. But it doesn't even have the numbers on it anymore. I think I looked it up one day. I think it's a MAC 168. There is a Morphe dupe for this. There's a Morphe dupe for every single brush that I'm talking about right now. So if you don't want to spend $42 on a brush, totally understand, and I've been there, and I will put that in the description. But if you are looking for a good brush, this brush is really good. I think at one point I used to use this as a blush brush, but now I use this for my contour. So this is the brush that I contour the hollows of my cheeks with, or you know, the weeks that I had a lot of in and out, then I'm probably not gonna have a lot of like hollows, but the weeks that I didn't have in and out and french fries, I do actually get some hollows sometimes in this face. But so I use this in the perimeter of my face, underneath the lips and on the sides of my nose, and then of course in the cheek contour area. So I love this brush so much. Again, it's an angle brush. I think I have a thing for angle brushes. I'm not too sure, but I love this brush so much. And we already went over it. It means a lot to me. Okay. All right, moving on. Next brush that I'm going to talk about is my blush brush. This is a little MAC brush. As you can see, it's a lot littler than the one that I just showed. It might even be the exact same brush. The only difference is that the hairs on this one is a little bit longer. This came in a Christmas set at one point. And I know their Christmas sets, I believe, are made by a machine, whereas these ones are homemade. I'm not even sure. But I never worked at MAC before, by the way, but I just remember either reading about it or hearing about it. But I do know that I believe the Christmas ones are made by a machine. If anyone from MAC is watching this, please correct me. I love you. I love this brush so much. Ever since I started using this for my blush area, I never stopped. They do have a few dupes. In fact, the one I use in my makeup kit is different. So let me go grab that one really quick just so I can show you guys. So this is the brush that I use in my freelance kit. This is the Morphe M405 brush. So this would be the perfect dupe for this MAC blush brush. So again, this is what I use in my makeup kit. The only reason I use this on myself and I don't have my makeup kit one in with my regular brushes is because when I do have a makeup job and I'm doing a freelance makeup job, I have to clean every single brush that I use. So what I ended up realizing after doing weddings for a while is I didn't want to have to do that every single morning right before a wedding. So I have some of my face brushes to the side, and then I have and then I still use all of the same eye brushes for my weddings. So yeah, basically this is my designated face brush, and I don't have to worry about making sure I clean this before I go do a wedding. So that's why I have this one in my kit. But again, this is kind of the ones that I gravitate to for blush. I like an angle brush. I like the, I believe this is rabbit hair. I just like how much product it picks up on the brush, and I love this one so much. You can see that the MAC one is actually a lot thinner. I put this in a case over the weekend and it got a little bit thin, but as you can see, I actually like it when it's fatter like this for my blush. Again, I go in circular motions because again, when you're putting the blush on the face, you are blending, so always remember that. So yeah, love that brush so much, just as much as I love this brush, but I just wanted to mention this brush specifically because this is what I use every single day. Okay, next brush that I want to talk about is this MAC 129 brush. It looks like this. I love this brush so much. This is just the brush that I pretty much use to blend anything on my face. So my analogy would be, this is a blending brush for my eyes. This is a blending brush for my face. So that's what I use for this. So when I'm done putting on the contour, say it's a little bit too harsh, I'll take this and kind of blend it. If I put on the blush and I have way too much blush, I will take this brush and kind of blend it. After I do the highlight, I will 100% use this brush. But this is just kind of like my go-to brush if I mean to blend or make it look a little bit more seamless, then this is the brush that I use. So again, but yeah, love this brush so much. Speaking of highlight, this is my favorite highlight brush. It is the Morphe M521 brush. It looks just like this. Obviously, it has two sides. On one side though, the bristles are kind of like shaved down, and then on one side they're longer. So I always look at that when I'm looking at my brush to see which side I'm gonna pick up my makeup with. So the side that has all the different bristles, like the shorter bristles and stuff, that is gonna be the side that I tap into my makeup with, versus the other side is just the back side, if that makes sense. So I love that for this reason, the M521. I love that, so I put this into my highlighter like this, on this side, and then I will put it in the areas that I want my highlight. So again, above the blush, I put some right above my two arches of my eyebrows, a dab on my tip of my nose. I do not put it on the arch of my nose anymore. My Cupid's bow, and every once in a while I will do the Rihanna look and kind of do the sideness right here. But yeah, I love this brush so much. I use it every single day, and I definitely wanted to mention it in this video. Okay, so those are the face brushes that I use every single day. If you're ever wondering what brushes I use, those are them. That is it. So one brush for foundation and concealer, one brush to set the powder with on my entire face, one brush for the contour, one brush for the blush, one brush to set the concealer, one brush to help blend, and one highlighter brush. Altogether, I use 7 brushes for my entire face. Okay, moving on to the eyes. Okay, so let's talk about brows. These are the 2 brushes that I use every single day to do my brows. This is the brush that I use to do my brows. If you're interested in seeing my eyebrow tutorial, I'll make sure to put that in my description, so make sure to check that out. This is a MAC 266 brush. It's an angle brush. I have a very unique way of doing eyebrows. This is again what I use on my face every day, but in that video you will see another brush that I use for a different technique. So I do 2 different techniques of eyebrows, but on myself I do this kind of eyebrow. So I love this brush so much. I literally couldn't do my makeup without it. The other technique that I have in my eyebrow tutorial, that used to be the old way that I did my brows before I learned this way, and I love that way as well. I just like this way a little bit more on me personally. And I do both different looks on different clients depending on what kind of look they're looking for. So, but again, the MAC 266 brush is a great angle brush. It's designed for like a dip brow or something like that. So if you're needing a good dip brow brush, then I really recommend the MAC 266 brush. And then this is just like an eyebrow brush, and has like the eyelashes duo or whatever. I mean, everybody's seen one of these in their life, right? But anyways, I love this brush so much. I think I got this from Sephora back in the day. It is tapered, so it goes a little bit bigger on the ends, and I love that because it's all chunky and fat, and I don't know. So anyways, this is the brush that I use to comb my brows, and I love it so much. And again, I'm kind of obsessed with cleaning. I'm kind of obsessed with brushing my brows. I know it's super weird. I don't do it like all day long. I'm just saying, like, when it's time to brush my brows in my makeup routine, I get so excited. I don't know why, but it's just like super fun. So anyways, I love this brush. But again, you can get something like this from like CVS or Walgreens or something, but I believe this one's from Sephora. Okay, next brush is, I'm going to talk about these two. I wanted to look up this brush one last time just to give it its glory, but it's the M433 brush, and on the Morphe website it says Pro Firm Blending Fluff. So that's the actual name of it. And you want to know how much this brush is? This brush that I use every single day that I swear by, $8. $8. $8. $8. That is so freaking good for a brush. And I'm telling you guys, if I knew this back in the day when I first started doing makeup, I would have cried, because I want to say ASS, but my booty bought the MAC 217 brush because that was the brush back in the day, and this was the brush that was going to do everything that this brush was going to do too. So the MAC 217 was bomb diggity back in the day, and I probably spent over 30 bucks for this brush, but it does the exact same thing that this $8 one does, I promise. And anyways, all I'm saying is that I put this in my cup. That's how I house my brushes, by the way. I keep them in little tins like this. Even when I do freelance work, I don't have a belt or anything like that. I like to do it like this because I'm a very visual person. I like to see every single one of my brushes all together at once. And yeah, and they're all different colors and everything like that. So anyways, when these are in here, I promise you, I can't tell you which one's Morphe or which one's MAC. I'm all busy in my busy life, and I just grab a brush and I don't know if it's the MAC or the Morphe. Every once in a while, I will trip out and I'll just be like, I'll just kind of like test myself. I'm like, which one is it? Is it the MAC or is it the Morphe? Just for fun. I literally, every once in a while, I'll get the MAC one right, just because the MAC one is a little bit firmer. I do have to say it's a little bit firmer, but other than that, you cannot tell. So if you're looking for a good blending brush, then this is a really good one. This one I use specifically, or either one of these, I use for my transition area. So usually when I am doing a transition color, I usually don't ever just do one color. I'm usually doing 2+. So that's why I do like to have 2 different ones at hand at all times. I have like 4 or 5 of the Morphe M433 brush in my kit, because I just like to be able to pick up whichever ones, and I like to be able to put darker colors on some and lighter colors and be able to pick it up and go. But yeah, I love this brush so much. I use it every single day, and I don't know what I would do without it. So this video is starting to sound like a love story. It doesn't it? But I really am in love with my brushes, so that would totally make sense. But yeah, anyways. Okay, next up, this is the MAC 224 brush. Yeah, so this is my blending brush that I use almost every single day. We'll use the M443 brush to put in my transition color, and then when I'm done with that brush, I will take that MAC 224 brush and just kind of blend it. So this is this is what I rely on for my blending. And then the next brush that I wanted to mention is the smudger brush that I use. It looks like this. It is technically a smudger brush. but I use this for my drop shadow. So the eyeshadow that goes underneath your eye, I was taught in makeup school that it's called the drop shadow. A lot of people don't say that though, so it's kind of weird. But anyways, I call it the drop shadow, and it's just perfect for getting right underneath that eye. And I mean, of course it is a smudger brush, so it's made for like eyeliner that you want to smudge, and it's great for that as well. But specifically, I use this every single day to do a drop shadow when I'm wearing a drop shadow color. So I love this one so much. Then we have a pencil brush. It just looks like this. And this is the brush that I use to do my inner corner. As you can see today, I don't know if it's very good lighting today, but I do have a pop of blue in my inner corner because I'm wearing like a blue tank. So I wanted the blue in, let me see if I can hold it. Wanted the blue in my eye to pop out to go with this shirt, or tank. So that is, so this is the brush that I use to do that inner corner highlight. And I always use a pencil brush for that area. I love this brush so much. I'm gonna have to put a dupe in the description because I don't know exactly, I think I got this in makeup school, so it's just like a generic brush. But again, it just shows you don't need to have a name brand. And again, I guess you don't technically need this brush for your inner corner highlight. I just prefer it and I really like it. And I like that it gives me control because it's so small, and that's why they call it a pencil brush. So it's really nice. And then last up, I have two last brushes to mention today. I have the MAC 242 brush, and then I have this generic brush. It is just like a rabbit hair brush. I love this brush so much. But anyways, both of these brushes I pretty much use for the exact same thing, so that's why I wanted to mention them together. This is the brush that I use when I'm using an eyeshadow that has a lot of pigmentation, or these are the brushes that I use if I am picking up a color specifically for my eyelid. So that's why I love the MAC 242, because it is so dense and it's perfectly rounded and everything, so I have a lot of control over how much on the eye that I use. And this is again a great brush for like a cut crease look or something like that. You're gonna have a lot more control with this type of brush versus this one I absolutely adore, but this one is a little bit fattier and this one is gonna get a little bit messier. So for instance, when I'm doing the eyelid, this one is gonna get a little bit higher than the eyelid. If I'm doing a monochromatic look, I can use something like this because it doesn't matter if I get the eye color above the eyelid. Typically when you're doing your eyeshadow, you don't want your eyeshadow to be above your eyelid unless you're doing a monochromatic look, or unless you're doing like a smoked out look or a runway look or something like that. But if you're looking for control and to just put the eyeshadow just on the eyelid, then you're gonna want a MAC 42 or something that looks just like this one. So I love this brush so much. Again, I use this one almost every single day. Usually I don't wear eyeshadow on the eyelid every single day. I just do something in the transition area. But when I'm doing my everyday looks with makeup, that makes sense. When I'm doing my everyday looks and I need an eyeshadow color, then this is the brush that I use. It's either gonna be this one or this one. Again, if I can get a little bit messier with it, then I'll go with this brush. And if I need it a little bit more defined and more structured, then I go with this brush. So I hope that makes sense. Those are all the brushes that I wanted to mention today. I do have to go because the sunset is going down and it's messing up my lighting and it's freaking me out. But I hope in this video that you guys found something to be helpful. Again, 7 plus 7 is 14. So I use about 14 brushes a day, not including those last two that I just mentioned. So it kind of gives you an idea of how many brushes I use. Again, I am a makeup artist here in California, so I might use a little bit more, might have a little bit more tools than you do, and that's totally okay. But if you are looking for something to start your kit with, or a starter kit, or just don't even know where to start because it can be so overwhelming out there with all the brushes to choose from, then I wanted to do this video for you guys so that you guys kind of have an idea of a good starting point and what to use on the face. And again, just because I use these brushes does not mean that you need to use these brushes. I'm sure you can come up with the exact same look as I do with another brush, but again, I wanted to show you guys what I use so then you guys can always refer back to it. So that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful, and if you did, please leave it a thumbs up. And I appreciate all the subscribers and the support that I'm getting so far. I really appreciate it. And if you have any recommendations or of any videos that you want to see from me and maybe you're too embarrassed to put it in the comment, DM me on Instagram. DM me and I'll be happy to respond that way too. I love connecting with human beings, and I love just having like an actual real connection with someone. So if you're one of those people who don't want to comment on here but you have something to say, then please just DM me at Instagram. My Instagram is JENBBEAUTIE right now, and I'll be happy to chat with you there. But other than that, this is all that I have for you guys today. So again, thank you so much for being here, and I appreciate you watching my videos. Thanks again, and have a great day. Bye. Peace. Where did my blush brush go? Blush, brush, brush, blush, 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 brush, blush, brush. I already have a brush video. I already have 7 brushes to I have 7 brushes to share with you guys about this. Whoa. What's happening? What's happening? What's up? I don't buy it up. All right. Seriously, what's happening with the brushes? What's happening? Yeah, what's happening? Okay, so, okay. I hope this video, you are setting you're setting Morphe. Whoa. Okay, so next up we have the face, and that are all the brushes. So again, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate having to mention, and then I might mention 2 extra one, or I'm planning on introducing these. Hello.